I love Mondays with Mike Heller.
Broadcasting live from an undisclosed bunker in the Badger State, this is I Love Mondays with Mike Heller. Powered by determination and a little bit of duct tape. Here's your host, Mike Heller.
We welcome you in on a Wednesday. It's an OG Wednesday. I'll tell you why in a little bit. We decided this when we got started that we wanted to bring in some of the folks that have been part of my broadcast past, but also who have been covering games and teams and players for a while. So, we're going to do that here in a little bit. I'll tell you who that is in just a moment. But if you've been following me on the Twitter, then you know. At Heller Sports, by the way, which is where many of you are watching, also on YouTube and later, wherever you get your podcast. I got a note from somebody last night. They were trying to find the download and couldn't find it. So trying to clean that up. So operator error on certainly my end going on there. All right. So Mulcahy says, morning, Heller. Audius, hey, fella, what's up? Have a great show. If you know, you know, on the John side of things. Where that phrase comes. And then I'll bring in this little concept too. Good morning. Good Brewers Eve, Mike. That comes from James. He's a regular on here, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys sharing the feed as well, whether that's on YouTube or on Twitter to build up our numbers. We're doing everything organically. Yeah, I talked about this earlier this week. I don't have a big radio group behind me to promote what it is we're doing. So it is at the street level. Go ahead and let your friends know, those who are sports like-minded. Push this info out so they know about it as well. One of the things that I've always wanted to do, whether I was on the radio as I was for about 25 years, or now in this fourth week of a podcast, is to get great guests. And I think we do that. I'll tell you right now, tomorrow, Lane Grindle will join us on the morning of the Brewers season opening game. Lane will be featured, obviously, on the radio, on the Brewers radio network tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's kind of in the wheelhouse of some pregame stuff or media press conferences, but Lane's going to join us. He'll join me tomorrow morning about 10:10 from American Family Field, and then working on another Hunter Baumgart based on the timing of press conferences tomorrow, because, Pat Murphy will be in the media auditorium, and then certainly they'll probably have, Mark Attanasio and maybe Matt Arnold. Anyway, so they'll do media availability prior, and based on Hunter's timing, we'll get that part figured out as well. There's news today in sports at all levels. We got to see Tiger Woods play in the TGL last night. First time we've really seen him play, other than the last time he played on the video screen. He looks capable of playing in 15 days at the Masters. I mean, he looks in incredible shape. The problem is walking, and I know that some people look at that in the concept of a golfer and being athletic. And with all of his surgeries, walking a very hilly course at Augusta is a problem. On the Champions Tour, which he is now eligible for, he doesn't want to do that yet, you can take a cart, but on the PGA Tour, that's not allowed. So it's a difficult golf course to walk. So we'll see if he moves in that direction. But that is 15 days from now, and he hasn't made a determination. But he did play last night. His team lost in a made-for-TV event that has actually turned out to be pretty cool, especially if there's nothing else stealing your attention, and there wasn't anything else last night, I don't think. So that was pretty interesting. So Tiger, I think, is a storyline as we roll this thing forward. Also, the rumblings. Hubert Davis is out at North Carolina, but also rumblings on Bill Self and his viability. His decision as to whether or not to continue at Kansas is interesting, because For him, it's a health related issue. He's had some heart problems, and money doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but money is not his reasoning. He wants to coach, but he also wants to be healthy enough to coach, healthy enough to live life. So I think that's really interesting. And then watching what happens with Mark Pope at Kentucky. You know, we fought this, and I usually fight it on social media. We fight this as it relates to Coach Gard and them bound out in the tournament. And, you know, that small minority that is really vocal that wants a coach to be fired in these scenarios, you just have to be super careful of what you wish for. You know, when Indiana couldn't get home with what they were doing all these years ago, they decided that they had to make a coaching change. And all they've done since is make coaching changes. And I guess the point of that is you have to start with money. Indiana doesn't lack for money, but then you have to have the right coach. So let me bring it to Wisconsin. You have to have money. I think that's been an issue, but I don't think it is as much of an issue rolling forward today and rolling forward as it has been in the past. And then you have to have the right coach. And I do think that Greg Gard has proven himself over and over again to be the right coach. And they have to find an answer to what ails them after Selection Sunday. Because that vocal minority crowd, it's all they're looking at. It's all they look at. I don't know that they watch games during the regular season. And when you bring up the win at Michigan or the win at Illinois or the win at Purdue or the win at home against Michigan State, then they counter with, okay, how'd it go against High Point? And I don't have a fight for that, because you are judged on what happens after Selection Sunday. I shouldn't even say it this way. I'm a believer in Greg Gard. I was going to say still. To me, it's not really questioned. They do have to find an answer. So does Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. And prior to him, so did Mike McCarthy. You got to find a way to win when it gets to a win or go home scenario. And in Green Bay, they haven't done it. And at Wisconsin for basketball, haven't done it well enough. So I think those things matter. We'll see where that storyline goes. Otherwise, Major League Baseball opens tonight. It is the Yankees at San Francisco. Yankees are the second favorite. I was looking this up with one of our sponsors, Potawatomi Sportsbook and Casino, on the futures lines. To win the World Series and to win their third straight World Series, the LA Dodgers are plus 225. They are a prohibitive favorite to win the World Series. The Yankees are next on that list at plus 900. So if you bet the Yankees to win the World Series and put $100 down, you'd win 900 back. If you did that $100 on the Dodgers, you only win 225 in return. By the way, the Cubs are plus 1,800. They're the highest rated team on the futures line in the National League Central. They'll open their season tomorrow. And the Brewers are next in the NL Central at plus 2,500. They're on the same line as Baltimore and the San Diego Padres. And the over-under line on Brewers future for wins is right around 82.5. So just above or at 500 would be how that kind of plays itself out. So just wanted to bring that to you as well. Let me welcome in our sponsors on the program, because they're important to what we do here. I love that we have viewership and listenership, and we're trying to grow that. And we ask in turn that you support with your business those who are supporting I Love Mondays, the podcast. So that goes with our presenting sponsors, M3 Insurance, who helps business and individuals manage risk, purchase insurance, and provide the right benefits to their employees. So M3, leveraging digital product and program solutions to protect and serve clients across the country. Go to m3ins.com. So if you're involved in your business's decisions on insurance and employee benefit packages, reach out to M3 Insurance. That's m3ins.com. Also presented by Neuroscience Group, excellence in brain, spine, and pain care. You can choose Neuroscience Group. They're based out of the Fox River Valley, and in sports, when you trust the right team for your health, it's no different. Neuroscience Group brings together specialists in neurology, spine, and pain management working together to get you back to full strength. So if you are hurting and need some help with back care, just check them out. Neurosciencegroup.com. They are a presenting sponsor. Our partner sponsor is Potawatomi Sportsbook and Casino. To all of our fellow sports bettors, if you've got the itch to bet on sports, the best place to do it is Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's your place to bet above the rest. And all of our injury updates on this program and more brought to you by Habish and Rotier. 13 locations to ensure you get a hometown attorney who understands your life and the impacts of your injury and is personally committed to your recovery. All right, all of that going on. And then we do this. We add John Audius to the mix. There he is. Look at it. He popped up on the screen. And then my second challenge is to make sure he can hear me and I can hear him. Hey, John. No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was a joke. Can you hear me now?
That was a jerk move. Yeah. You know how technically I'm not very good. So
as soon as I saw you make the camera switch, I was like, oh no, how is he doing that?
Yeah. Look at this. I can go here. I can go there.
I know.
Right.
I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Right.
He's got that
crazy. You didn't open.
Huh?
You didn't open.
Oh, hey fellas, what's up? Sorry, I had it planned and I forgot.
Well, you messed with me right out of the gate, which is good. Yeah, it's fantastic. You look good. I love your studio. I love your John Cast podcast, your background that you created, and you've been doing this a lot longer than I am. How many episodes do you have? Do you know what your number is? Because you put that on your. I think when you post it, you always list your episode number.
Yeah, it's 100 and something. 161.
161.
Yeah. I was at just a feverish pace right at the beginning, and then it came down to about once a week.
That baby. That's smart.
Yeah.
Smart by you. Hey, last night I got a chance I also do a Badger Connect podcast that runs on Thursdays. This Thursday will be an interview I did with Jeff Grimes, Wisconsin football's offensive coordinator, which is really good. But last night I also recorded an interview with Charlie Furbringer and her dad, Matt.
Nice.
And I mean, you've been around her. I don't know if you've had any dealings with her dad, with Matt, who's the coach of Madison Love, Love Madison, the volleyball professional team. But what a great family storyline that is, and with a great player too. I've already done an interview with Kelly and Kathy Sheffield. But that volleyball program, John, and you're front and center on it, has been such a joy to watch and such an incredible success story. Did you envision what you were getting into when they asked you initially? Maybe Diane Nordstrom, did she ask you initially if you would want to do it, or however that began?
You're talking about like just calling games and
Yeah.
I think that was our buddy Tim, who we got the contract or something like that, and they had volleyball. I had no idea. No, well, I knew they had made the tournament the year before, so I thought it'd be pretty. Like this will be interesting. Like how good can they be? And they had, been runner up 7 years prior to that or whatever in 2000. But no, not to the level that it's gotten to. And since Kelly took over in 2013. Was Pete the coach? Pete Wade, the coach when you started calling games? Yep. Yeah. He was the coach until 2012.
Yeah. And now he's your broadcast partner on all of this run. And I remember, John, when we would talk about it occasionally you had to learn the game essentially from scratch and to figure out, and there weren't a whole lot of examples out there on how to call it, terminology, how all those things worked. Take us through a little bit of your memory of the genesis of you calling a sport that you didn't have a whole lot of background in.
Still learning it, by the way. Like all the in-depth analytic stats, when you talk with Gary from the staff, Gary White, like he'll explain it too, and I'm still probably bothering him a lot, asking all the little details about all these other stats. But yeah, I mean, there was, like you said, there wasn't a lot of examples. I had never called volleyball. I got to watch the Summer Olympics in 2008, so kind of get a sense more of some of the terms and just what the game looks like, because I think I'd been to a high school volleyball match previous to that, and then just played in elementary when it was gym class for volleyball. So that's all I knew about it. But just kind of learned the terminology. I reached out to John Baylor, who calls Nebraska. I remember reaching out to him early, just kind of getting some thoughts on the way he calls the game, and then just doing it. Just doing it. And the good thing about radio, you've called games, is that sometimes you can say something incorrect, and if you just move on, no one's going to be the wiser to it. So probably a lot of that. But yeah, just trying to learn the game more and expand the vocabulary on how to describe certain shots. And now we are in 2026 and I'm still doing it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And how often in a match or women's college basketball, we'll get to that because you've got a game still playing, got a game tomorrow night at home. How often in a volleyball match or a basketball game is somebody still one of your friends or somebody you used to work with sending you in a word or a phrase that you've got to try and fit into the broadcast?
Every so often, like Posick will text me something, but not too much. But I try to do that whenever I'm listening to, whether it's Brian Posick or sometimes Justin Garcia on the Bucks radio network, whether he's calling a game or he's doing the studio stuff. It happens every so. It actually happened last week because we were talking about this. It happened the last game Sunday, with our videographer McKinley. He's like, say catapults and say scavenged. And then
just to give a little background, John and I used to do this. I used to do women's games, and John he and Reagan be driving around, and I don't know why they would listen, but they would have it on maybe, and John would throw me a note, say something, use the word river. And then you got to figure out how in your broadcast, live play-by-play, how you can mix in river and not have it sound like, what the hell was that? And John's really good at it, but we would have some fun going back and forth. At the time, I mean, like, I knew it. There weren't a whole lot of people listening. So, it was almost, a broadcast specific to, if I knew you were listening, I might, talk to you because I don't know if there's anybody else listening.
Right. Yeah, that's fun. I still do that. I do that sometimes to Chris Vosters, who calls stuff on BTN. And so, like, it's so much fun. And then you get to listen to your word. I still love doing it to other people. It is hard though. Like McKinley told me he told me too. And then I also used the Pride of Prairie du Chien when Lily Cron hit a 3. That was from Meg with Brand Communication. So I used 3 words the last game.
Yeah.
The 3 phrases.
Pretty good. And you get to keep it going tomorrow. Let's shift a little bit into talking about women's basketball. They had a rough finish to their season. They were actually in a position probably midway through the Big Ten where they were one of the surprises of the conference. It didn't finish quite that way, but they got into the WBIT, first time that they're in that tournament, women's basketball invitational tournament. And now they're in the quarterfinals, and they won. Shoot, that had to be a little crazy, by the way, last week, going all the way out to the West Coast. Did you open? Where were you to open? Corvallis?
Yeah, in Corvallis. Yeah, it was crazy travel. So leave Tuesday afternoon, get back Sunday night. Within that time frame to Corvallis, which is about 6.5 hours of flight because they had to stop to refuel. So I'm talking about time spent in a plane because you can't get off the plane while they're putting gas in it or whatever, fuel. So 6.5 hours Corvallis.
To have.
Yeah, 7.5 hours to Miami. And then I think it was 4 hours or just less than 4 hours back home. So about 18 hours or so in a plane, 5,700 miles across the country in a total of just over 5 days.
Yeah, no kidding. And a home game tomorrow. And if they're fortunate enough to beat Harvard, then you go to Wichita and play in the national semifinal for this tournament Monday. So I remember the first year I did games for Wisconsin women's basketball and Lisa Stone, we played in a tournament, Thanksgiving tournament in Coral Gables at Miami, but we played at a high school. And I remember doing that game or those tournament games, and there was nobody in the gym. So it was like my voice, somebody shooting a free throw, and the only voice that can be heard in the gym is mine. Mm-hmm. And I wondered about that with you in Coral Gables, because the Miami men were playing in the NCAA tournament at the same time. So was it a little sparse in their arena for that game?
It was a great crowd at Oregon State on Thursday night. Yeah. There was not many people in the stands. I don't want to give away a number, but let's just say the people who really, really cared about Miami basketball showed up. And
you could have counted, right? In a commercial break, could you have counted?
100%.
Okay. What's been the changeover from to work with Robin Pingeton? I've only met her a couple of times. Your impression of what she has done in year one, and does it make you optimistic as to what can happen?
100%. Like, I think a lot like Kelly Sheffield, she's a teacher. I get limited observation of them mainly on the road at practices and shoot arounds and in film on the road. But one of the first things that stood out is how much she is teaching the team things and making sure they understand that through film and going back and reviewing. And, that plus the mentality of we over me. They didn't have starting lineups this year at the Kohl Center. They introduced the Badgers as a team. So it's kind of like front of the jersey as opposed to back of the jersey. So I love the mentality, and everybody bought in. And this team, how like we like to play the what if game.
Yeah.
And I get the what if game never happens 100% of the time, but what if, and you talk about how they were competitive and there in the Big Ten, they lost in overtime at Marquette, had an 8-point lead with like 2.5 minutes to play or so. They had down by 3 at Northwestern, had a chance to tie it with 10 seconds, didn't get the shot to drop. They had a game against Purdue that they lost by single digits. That was very winnable game. They lost in overtime to a top 25 team in Washington at the Kohl Center. Like, you start flipping these games, and they're not a 13 and 16 team entering the tournament or whatever, with 13 and 17, excuse me. You flip that around, you're 500, and now you've got some really good quality wins. They already had some good quad one wins before that against Nebraska, against Oregon, against Michigan State. So, like, I like to play the what if game, and this team was teetering on the edge of, can they sneak into the NCAA tournament? Sure. Like, they're going to have some really good quality wins here, above 500 and everything too. They snuck into the WBIT, which is, by the way, in case those are wondering, because I had somebody reach out, like, this is the second tournament in women's basketball. It's not the NIT like on the men's side. NIT is third. WBIT is second. So let's just get that straight.
Yeah, and this is only its third year, and a Big Ten team has won it the first 2 years. So maybe Wisconsin is going to continue that trend. So we call this on Wednesdays, we call this an OG Wednesday. Original gangster, which when I hear that term, I mean, you're one of the first visions that pops into my head anyway. Okay. You and Phil Dawson. Mm-hmm. So let's retrace a little bit, because I never knew the years. Like, I still don't know the years that we first started working together, and whether it was still Clear Channel at the time or iHeart. But on 1070, you and I and Phil were kind of the three of us kind of paired together in the early iterations of Sports Talk, because they did a show called The Bullpen, I believe, that Tim did. And then I took over with Jim Kasten, or I took over, then I took another job in selling beer, goofy. Jim Kasten took over, and then I came back, and then you and I, after Owen, were you in with Owen as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so you and me and Owen, and then Owen left, and then it was you, me, and Phil. I mean, there were a ton of different.
I thought I had a bad memory.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's true. It's true. Well, I'm way older.
How much more does your memory go? Because right now, like, there are things I'm like, wait, when did that did happen? I think that happened. Does it just get worse?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it does. I mean, so you got that to look forward to.
Fun.
What do you remember? Like, do you have fun memories of working with Phil? Because he was they put him in an awkward position of having to do a morning show and then coming back and doing the afternoon show. But Phil was mean, he was really good and he was fun to work with, but you kind of didn't know from day to day what you might get from Phil.
Yeah, no, Phil was a blast to work with. I was just thinking about Phil the other day. I can't remember why. I think it was because something silly he did. Shoot, what?
It wasn't starting the car on fire, the station vehicle on fire. That wasn't it, was it?
No, that wasn't it. No, but I do remember. So Justin Garcia was actually telling this story to me not too long ago. When Phil and I worked in lacrosse, and I'll get to Phil and Madison in a second. When Phil and I worked in lacrosse, he would be running the board for Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah.
Because we had that affiliation. And he was showing Justin kind of how to run the board once. And I guess he goes, "Hey, watch this. Here's the count, 3-2." He goes, "Oh, what a great pitch." Like he would pull down the audio and pretend he's on Sunday Night Baseball and make a comment and bring it back up. And I just thought that was hilarious because I could totally see him doing that. No, man, it was fun. It was a blast to work with Phil, and they had him in, like you said, I don't think people realize he was getting up at like 4 something in the morning.
Gosh.
Probably
he was coming in to do a morning show with Uncle Lukey and then and then going home.
Like, I mean, imagine telling somebody this is you're going to be your life and you're going to get one salary for it, and we're going to split your hours. But that middle section, that's all you. But that's really not all you. No. That middle section, when you get home at 11 a.m. and you know you got to get back in at 2, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
I did the same thing for, a year and a half doing the morning show on Star Country.
Yeah.
And then going home at, and Tracy, who I did the show with, I mean, that's her full-time deal. Like she wants me 100% invested. And after the show to meet about the show and to talk about the show and what are we going to do tomorrow? And as soon as that show ended, and sometime before it ended, I'd be thinking about what are we talking about this afternoon? What guests are we going to get? And it's so hard to be a master to two jobs. But, like in Phil's case, he was, radio doesn't pay much depending on who you are, where you are. And he wasn't getting compensated for doing what he was doing.
Essentially like a 15-hour day or whatever.
Yeah.
12-hour day at least. No, that was fun. And Owen was fun too, because Owen was,
oh my gosh,
Owen was silly, and he would push the silly envelope, and it was fun to do that, I thought.
Yeah. So a couple of comments coming in. Mulcahy says, Lucas and LePay with Dawson. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was a deal too. And Matt doesn't suffer fools, and he loved Phil. Now, like Phil could be, Phil had his own set of issues on occasion.
Lukey loved Phil too.
They all, all of us who worked with Phil love Phil. I mean, dude was fun. Jealous of some of his talents, right? I mean, total recall and super smart and quick-witted. So he had fans that were in his corner. And do you have an update? Is he still in Japan? And they've got 2 children, is that right?
He's in Japan. I think he's got 2 kids, and he's making beer or something. Growing hops. Do you grow hops? Sure you grow hops. Sure you
grow hops, yeah. You see them around here on those tall, like they put up old telephone pole kind of deals.
You see hops around Madison?
Sure, yeah.
Oh,
you see them, but you just don't know you're seeing them.
Oh,
like if you drive out south of Madison, there are some fields that have hops in them, but they put posts up and then netting, and then they're essentially like vines that are growing on those.
Oh,
those are hops.
Oh, I'll have to keep an eye out for hops next time I'm out driving.
Yeah.
Can I say something about Tiger Golf League before you change the subject too?
Yeah,
I wanted to get to that too, because you never let me talk about Tiger Golf League.
Never had a chance to stop you.
That was fun. I tuned in specifically to watch Tiger Woods play golf, and like this, Tiger, I think, just figured out a way. Because what is the most watched PGA events? It's when Tiger plays, right? Like everybody wants to see Tiger. He just figured out a way how to give everybody what they want, like on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Like, like Monday Night Football, but Tiger League golf. And that thing, when you watch that live and you've got superstar or like big names in golf with Tiger, like that's a made for TV couple hours, and it's made for betting. Like imagine real-time betting on the Tiger Golf League. Dude, I think Tiger just figured out a way to keep that audience until he doesn't want that audience anymore, until he's done playing golf.
And do you kind of notice how the players are bought in? Like the players are, if the players are just showing up.
No, they're playing.
They're playing. Like it's real. Like they have stumbled onto something that I think has real legs. Like this is something you would have been in on early, and I would have said, I don't know, man. I don't
into a screen.
Yeah, but they've got something. I couldn't stop watching it last night, and then listening to SVP. And I know he works for the company, so he's also selling for the company. But he loved it. Like he was the one that was saying, I don't know where this came from, but this is the coolest thing. And all the players are fully bought in. Like Tiger hitting stingers last night, and some of the creative golf holes that they're playing on, under the arc, and the ball rolls up and then comes off the shelf and lands on the. I mean, it was pretty damn cool.
Yeah, they get to create shots because they get to create unlimited holes in whatever kind of obstacle they want to put in front of professionals. Yeah. They get a crowd that's like not a golf crowd, like they're rowdy, like the Waste Management Open or whatever. They've got big names and a big brand with ESPN doing it. Like I think it's the future, man. Like, not that the PGA isn't going. No, I mean, the PGA is still going to be the PGA and whatever, but this is a great alternative to what, you know what else? Like, I like watching YouTube golf, like DeChambeau or some of those other YouTube golfers.
Sure.
Dude, this could expand to like the pros with the Joes, like pros with YouTube. Like,
no doubt. Yeah.
I just see so many possibilities with this, with gambling, prediction markets, and television.
I'd love to go in that facility. I mean, it looks so cool.
Could they do that? Could they make that? This is what I was thinking last night. To bring it to, for example, like the Kohl Center. Could they bring it to basketball arenas?
No doubt. I mean, I would think it would be sort of expensive, but it's like bringing in a concert. Yeah. Like if you did that, because they played back-to-back nights, right? Didn't they go Monday and Tuesday to wrap up their tournament season? So if you brought that on tour in the off season, you'd have to spend. I mean, they have to spend money, and the Kohl Center or Fiserv would have to pay, a promoter to bring it in. But yeah, I would think you could do it.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking last night. Imagine going to this in a basketball arena, because I really liked the crowd at one point. They were getting rowdy or whatever. Like put in 10,000 fans watching this. And it's like a sporting event where they can cheer, and it's golf and it's Tiger and it's fun. I really liked it. Yeah,
really cool. All right, let me jump. I don't want to keep you the full time. I want to be aware of what you've got going on in life. So let's talk a little life here, because I experienced this year what you experienced a number of years ago, when iHeart has, essentially everybody's gone. Took them a while to do it. They reinvented and did other things. And at one point, you were let go. And last September, I was let go. How did you, because I've gone through it now, hadn't done it before. How did you manage that? And what was your process of sort of reinventing? Because in that time, you still stayed doing women's college basketball and volleyball. So you knew you had something, but none of that is full time. So how did you process through whatever you are willing to share? How did you process through and kind of reinvent where you were in life?
Geez, I don't know, man. I just remember like when I figured it out, like right before I got let go, because I was talking to a salesperson, and they were like, "We got a meeting this afternoon, huh?" I'm like, "No, I never got that email." And then like minutes before, I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I bet's gonna happen." Like I figured, I was like, I think there's a decent shot this is going down. I don't know. I just I don't think I really wanted to be in that area again, but I do work part-time for ESPN Madison, which is awesome because I think it's just enough to get in and talk sports and get it out. And then obviously we do stuff with volleyball too on ESPN Madison, but I just started looking for jobs. Just started looking for something. I stumbled upon one, which I can do from my house, which is awesome. So I just kind of hung on to that. And I mean, radio is not what it was.
Right.
remember I grew up in the in the 90s, and that's all, and 80s, I'm sure the same. Radio was even probably bigger, but that's all you listened to, and you're like, oh man, radio is awesome. It's all in the car and everybody listens to it. And then by the late 90s, early 2000s, the internet came. And so, like, I don't know, radio isn't what it once was, even when I was first kind of thinking about getting into it. But I don't know, just started looking for jobs, I guess. Got my resume updated and played some more golf.
I even think back to like in its best days, like with us at Ian Madison at 1070, Lucas and LePay, and then Lucas and Dawson in the morning into Dan Patrick, and then we would come in the afternoon. That was kind of heyday. It changed when Milwaukee came into the mix and then started to do some things that were more market specific there. And Madison, to be fair, got set aside. We were told, don't be talking about Madison stuff or restaurants or whatever. It's all Milwaukee based, which sucked. I mean, it's good for Milwaukee, but it really was kind of the beginning of the end in Madison. But you and I got to do Dan Patrick shows together. And I mean, like in that run, like 2012, 2010, 12 was when I started doing DP shows. But doing those, like, I mean, I think back on that, it's only, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, but that was really cool. Like it was pretty heady stuff that we were, talking to an entire country from our studio in Madison.
Yeah, that was the heyday then, right? And then Rich Eisen show after that too.
Yeah,
which was even more wild too. But Dan Patrick, that was fun, man. Yeah, I mean, that was it. And I think we did kind of like, it did kind of suck to be like, have to talk about Milwaukee. Like, well, I don't live in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I'm less than 10 miles from Camp Randall. Can we talk about that a little bit more? But yeah, I mean, and then it just, I don't know where it's at now. I'm not sure where it's going after. Well, I think I do know where it's going, but yeah.
Well, and there's really, and I kind of obviously suffered the same fate this last September, and I'm doing the show with Nick Bruzewitz, who's he's a good kid. I mean, I shouldn't call him a kid, but he's 24 years old. He was 22 when I started working with him. And our boss used to be your boss, used to be my boss. He also doesn't have a job now. He like poked his head in at the end of a show. And I was told, John, I do a lot of my shows, was doing a lot of my shows, almost all of them from home.
Yeah.
But it was September, end of August, September, and late that week before, he reached out to me, said, hey, can you come in and do the show on Tuesday at the radio station so we can talk about Badger and Packer coverage for this fall? Okay, so he had to couch it, right? Bring me in. And then he poked his head in after that show. It was a Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. And he goes, hey, Mike, I'm in the conference room if you want to come in there. And he shut the door.
You're like, nope, I'm fine. Just kidding. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I knew, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of weighed on me thinking, oh, why they don't ask me to come in unless I'm going to meet with sales or something. So, and I could couch it to say, okay, yeah, we want to talk about how we're going to manage a little bit of Packers and Badger mix, and we hadn't decided on a day off or all that kind of stuff. But as soon as he then shut the door, I looked at Nick and said, Nick, it's been, I've enjoyed this, but I'm going in to get let go.
Isn't that crazy?
No, you're not. He goes, you're on the Packers radio network and the Badger radio network. They're not letting you go. I said, hey, they're going to bring me in there. And then I was wrong, but I said, I'll come back in and say goodbye to you. But I didn't, because when they finish, then somebody, I don't even know who it was because I never looked back. When I got up to leave the room, they follow you until you leave the building and you're outside the second door and you've left your key fob, right? That's it.
Yeah, I didn't get followed. I said, hey, do you mind if I just walk? No. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. But so maybe they broke protocol with me there. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. Yeah.
You're more trustworthy than me. I thought I was going to be violent.
They never know. They never know who's going to.
Right? Yeah.
So that's how that ended for you, huh?
Yeah. And then,
what time was that? Oh, after the show, so late.
Yeah.
See,
So
this is what I don't like. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
That they bring you in like, they make them do one more show. Like, do that stuff in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, that's disrespect. I would rather have it be in the morning, because then it's just like, hey, give us one more.
I told them, and I thought they did it, and I'll have Mike Lucas on one of these on the OGs too. But I thought they screwed it up. And I think it's wrong, but it's a corporate deal. It's not made at the market level. When they made the decision that they were going to let you go, why not say to you, hey, John, we're going to do this. You don't have to do shows this week, but if you want to, you can, and say goodbyes and whatever and transition out. They didn't do it with you. They didn't do it with Mike Lucas, who deserved a better fate. And they didn't do it with me. And I would argue that I deserved a better fate. Brian Posick, he made his own, he made the call, right?
Yeah. Smart.
But all you had to do is say, listen, tomorrow's going to be your last show. You don't have to do it. Like on that Tuesday afternoon, they could have said to me, tomorrow can be your last show, but we're going to part ways. But here's the document. If you badmouth us, if you say shit about, your boss, or it's a podcast, John, I can do that.
Okay.
If you bad talk the company or so-and-so, you're going to put any severance at risk. And just let me say goodbye. Cause I listened on the Wednesday. Like, I talked about you after you were gone, but I don't know if you listened, but they talked about me, and I thought it was like an obit. Like, I texted him in the middle of it and said, hey, remind people that I didn't die, because you're talking to me like I'm at my own funeral. I didn't die. But I just think that part is shitty, that they ought to let you have the microphone with rules to be able to reminisce and to be able to, on your terms, say goodbye to people that have listened to you. Because I don't know how long you were there. I was there for 25 years. From the time I started with Clear Channel to the time iHeart let me go last September. Just want to say, on your own terms, but they don't allow you to do it.
No, I was there almost 17 years, but I mean, yeah, with the right stipulations. I was going to say, as you were going there, I'm like, you know how many people would just open up that mic and go off? You know how many people would probably sign that and be like, get to a point they're like, F my severance. You know what? Yeah. I'm going out swinging. Right. I think that's probably why, but I understand, like, it's crummy that you don't get that final. It's like not announcing your retirement and you don't get the gifts on the way out or something like that. You know what I mean? You just walk off and nobody gets to be like, oh, that was Jeter's last game or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I didn't know if I would go into that part of the conversation or not, but I hope you don't mind that I did. Let me spin it back and wrap with this and then see. Oh, by the way, John Audius raps. Like, they were still, like, I will occasionally pop one up on my phone and listen to it. I know there was a lot of work involved in that, but those are so good, John.
I mean, only did them when we had a sponsor, because it was too much work, dude. Like, it's hard to make a song, and I'm not like a professional. Like, I don't know, like, I have to like work on the computer and make all the music and the beat sound this at the right spots and write down the lyrics, kind of make sense. Like,
your Eminem Meat Friday deal on Dan Patrick. I remember with my wife Kari and Jackson and Morgan on a spring break. And we went to a Suns game, but it was voting. Like, it was on your phone. Like, and we just sat there, all four of us, the whole Suns game during every break, just like vote, is because they didn't limit.
They didn't limit it. Yeah. And I got people, groups on Twitter to be like, hey, tonight we're just voting. Just, every few seconds you can vote.
Right.
It's like refresh, vote. Yeah. That was crazy. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun. I wish I could freestyle better, though. You know what I mean? Where it's just like on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it free or style or edit it or whatever. But I mean, those were, and I probably pushed you to do more than what you wanted to do because they were a lot of work. And I knew that they were a lot of work, but I didn't know how much work they were. But they were so good and so popular, fun to listen to. Another hidden talent in your repertoire. Let me go back to volleyball just for a minute because I think Kelly is a unique coach that you have gotten a chance to work so closely with for all these years. And I think one of the things that people don't understand is, and maybe you can explain it certainly better than I can, he's demanding. Like he wants stuff. He wants you at things. He needed stuff when Barry Alvarez was AD. He would, I think, sit across from Barry and say, we need this. I'm fighting for this. And I think that's one of the reasons he is so successful. What have you noticed about him that is unique and that has kind of led him to the success level that he's had here?
Yeah, well, he's always taking people's input too. He's always kind of tinkering with things and asking the opinion of everyone. If I had a nickel for every time, he'd ask me, what stood out to you in that one? Like he's asking me and I'm just sitting there like, oh God, give a good answer, because he knows so much about it. But I think that's one thing. And, having a vision of what a successful program needs, and they need a new locker room. No one's coming in, and Pete will tell you about the old locker room had a urinal in it.
Yeah. Yes.
So like they need a new locker room. You can't compete with, you need a video board. You can't get, 7,000 people in here in August and September when it's 95 degrees and humid in the building. You need air conditioning. You need a new floor. This floor is old. These are athletes. These are high performing athletes that jump numerous times. Didn't he
rent an AC unit like out of his own deal, at least for one of the tournaments early before they got it installed?
It sounds right, like with those big fans, and like it would blow into the big fans, and the big fan would blow the cold air into the building. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So having the vision of knowing what needs to, how you get elite recruits here, they need certain things, and not a lot of programs have those things. So you really stand out when you have those things that other programs don't. And so I think having that vision and just always kind of tinkering with things. That's every lineup, every roster, like where are we best? Like, how do we tinker this? Can we do this? Just look at last year. They're like, well, I guess we're going to hit out of the back row a bunch because we have all this talent that can do that. And so I think that's so cool, getting the roster, putting in the numbers, the data from Gary and the practices, and then tinkering and talking and getting the best case scenario in December. That's what they do. It's awesome.
Yeah. He's so curious. That line, better to be curious than judgmental. He's curious. He asks, like, you're around him a heck of a lot more than I've ever been, but he asks a lot of questions. He's really curious and interested when something grabs him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're right. He'll ask questions about it, which means he's listening, which means he's interested. So yeah, for sure. It's been awesome. It's been awesome working with him. Yeah. And then get to watch YouTube videos with him because he has a number of YouTube videos that he just wants to show you. So that's fun too. Yeah.
Is Avi driving yet?
No, she's 13.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not too early, is it?
Yeah. She drives the golf cart sometimes. Well,
there you go.
Yeah. I'll take her to the Fitchburg Country Club because that's the only place they kind of let her go and drive. Nine Springs.
Oh, okay. Okay. Fitchburg CC.
It's kind of like the attention she has, an hour or so of golf, but she'll drive that cart every once in a while, but not a car. No.
Got it.
Yeah.
Anything I leave on the cutting room floor? Anything you wanted to touch on? Otherwise, I can let you go back and live your life today.
Yeah, I got Destiny Howell pregame interview coming up here in a little bit. WBIT, everybody, please just listen. There's one basketball game at the Kohl Center this year. That's one left. It's Wisconsin. They'd really appreciate it, man. This team works so hard. This team has hit, started to connect again right at the perfect time. This is a tournament. This is March. It's not the NCAA tournament, but it's games that matter for these players. So please just go buy tickets. This could be the greatest home court environment they'd had all season if people just I want the Badger fans, the 80,000 coming to Camp Randall, the 10,000, 15,000 to go to men's games. Go to one women's game. Just go to one women's game.
Just
have this
one
one be the one.
Doubleheader, or if you wanted it to be a triple header, but the doubleheader with men's hockey at 4, right? So watch at the Nitty or someplace else, and then walk across the street and go to the Kohl Center and go to the women's home game tomorrow night. What a great doubleheader that is. You want to make it a triple header. The Brewers play at 105. That's on TV. TV men's hockey, and then walk into the Kohl Center.
It could be a fantastic day of sports.
Yeah. And they can beat the really smart players from Harvard.
Yes.
I mean, they're not all that.
No. Then they got either Cal or Columbia after that if they win in the last 4 teams of the semifinals. Yeah. So number 1, go to the women's basketball game. Project Hail Mary.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
8 out of 10. It's pretty good. I think these Rotten Tomato ads you're saying 96% on Rotten Tomato. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go there, but it was really entertaining. Goes by quickly. You supported
it. You would have been one of the 96%ers.
Well, I wouldn't have given it 96. Yeah, I would have given it a thumbs up if that's what that means.
Okay. Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know.
I watched Sinners yesterday, which I hadn't seen. Have you seen Sinners?
Not yet. Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to see. I do want to see that. I want to see the new He-Man movie when that comes out, and the Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, the first time you used it today.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about? You know who He-Man is?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? No,
I didn't see any of the Mandalorian stuff.
Okay. Yeah. He-Man was a toy in the 80s. I have a bunch of
I knew that part, but I haven't seen any of them. There's a movie coming out on it.
It's coming out in June or May or something. I forget. Project Hail Mary, 8 out of 10. Rocky's a great character. Highly recommend it. What else did I have to say? I don't remember.
Yeah, because you had that. You tweeted back and you included that, and then I skipped it.
Badger volleyball, spring volleyball now 1-0. They beat Marquette in 4. They've got 3 more spring matches. You can hear April 10th and April 18th. Those matches on the ESPN Madison app. Okay, so that's going to be on the app, and perhaps we'll have the April 24th home game, and that would be on YouTube only on announcer cam. So anybody who's into volleyball, that's going to be on the ESPN Madison app. So tune into spring volleyball is what I'm trying to say.
And that one against Minnesota is in Eau Claire, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Really and did you know there's a volleyball player with the number 67 this year?
How would I? No, I don't. I didn't know that. Is there a backstory? It has to be. Oh, I see. Thank you.
That's why. I'm guessing that's why.
I would think. Maybe.
Doing the 6-7 motion, but she had 9 kills in the first spring match. That's Hallie Thompson. She's 67.
Yeah, I was talking to Charlie last night. She said when she was on the court, at times there were 5 players that she's not played with before on the court. So, yeah. Fun to watch. Hey, thanks for doing this, John. I appreciate you doing it. You can what's the next Johncast episode? When's that coming out? Podcast.
Season 4. I'll probably do a wrap up when women's basketball is done.
Okay. All right.
And then I put that on hold until the fall so I can go golfing.
Smart. So you can golf. Yeah. All right.
Don't have to worry about it.
Good to visit with you. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it. We'll do it again.
All right. See ya.
All right. See you, John. John Audius. Hey, fellas, what's up? I appreciate him doing it, jumping on here and spending time. So we're going to do this OG Wednesdays. A couple of weeks ago, I talked with Tom Oates. Mike Lucas will do it with Mike Lucas. He's going to have Peg set up the equipment to do it since it is a video interview. Oatesy figured it out, but there was a little trial and error there, and then I'm not a whole lot of help in that category either. So a couple of things to touch on. In the NCAA tournament getting back underway tomorrow night, it is really interesting to watch what happens with all these Big Ten teams. There are 6 of them. Michigan State and Michigan both will play on Friday. Tomorrow, Purdue, Illinois, Iowa, and Nebraska. And Iowa and Nebraska play one another, so somebody's going to the Elite 8. Illinois, the 3 seed, gets Houston. Purdue, the 2 seed, gets Texas. And then on Friday, you get Michigan State against the 2 seed UConn, and top seeded Michigan against 4 seeded Alabama. So there are 6 on the Big Ten front. Tomorrow, it is Brewers baseball. Today's the last day. There is no game today. They had exhibitions. They won yesterday. Doesn't matter. It does in certain ways, but it obviously doesn't count. So they'll start keeping score and putting it in the standings tomorrow. 1:05 is the first pitch. Should be a ton of fun. And that's all we got. I want to thank our sponsors again, those who are heavily involved in the show, and I appreciate. We're going to add another one next week that I'm really excited about, but can't tell you about it today. We will next week. We are brought to you in part by Habish & Rotier, 13 locations to ensure you get a hometown attorney who understands your life and the impacts of your injury, personally committed to your recovery. If you have a personal injury situation that needs legal help, go to Habish & Rotier. I Love Mondays also presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook and Casino. Bet above the rest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. It is time to play. Pick your game from slots, poker, best sportsbook anywhere, and more. Enjoy restaurants, bars, and a luxurious hotel just steps from all of the action. You can learn more at Potawatomi.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino. I Love Mondays is presented by Neuroscience Group. Back pain holding you back? At Neuroscience Group, our spine specialists offer personalized care from therapy to advanced surgical options so you can get back to doing what you love. Neuroscience Group, we've got your back. Go to neurosciencegroup.com. And I Love Mondays is presented by M3 Insurance. M3 leveraging digital product and program solutions that protect and serve clients across the country. We equip you with tools and guidance you need to confidently navigate insurance and risk management decisions. A big thank you to all of our sponsors, and a big thank you to you for being part of the show. I love doing it. Can't wait. We're going to do it again tomorrow on Brewers opening day. One of my favorites, scheduled tomorrow, Lane Grindle at about 10:10, and possibly tomorrow, Hunter Baumgart. Now, it's odd because Thursday's supposed to be Vinny Rottino, but Vinny on spring break with family wasn't scheduled to work the opening series anyway, so he's traveling, and I didn't want to take him off the beach to do this. So we'll go Lane Grindle at 10:10, and I appreciate him doing that because he's right in the middle of everything going on. And then Hunter will just have to see, Hunter Baumgart will just have to see where the press conferences get scheduled to see if that fits. A couple of notes coming in at the end. Darren says, would love to get John Audius in regular rotation. You two were the best. Yeah, I appreciate John, and I'd love to have him on a somewhat regular basis, but also want to be sensitive to the things he's got going on in life and his golf game. Mike 21 said those walk out the door goodbyes would be absolute cinema. Yeah. When they let you go in the radio world and probably many other worlds, you turn in your key fob, grab the stuff off your desk, and you get ushered out. I didn't say anything on the way out. I was not totally surprised and frustrated, angry, sad, all of the emotions kind of wrapped up into one. But I also knew that the blame wasn't to the people that were in the room with me when they told me that I was gone. You know, the blame in a big corporate setting is corporate. And those things, at least for me, mine was corporate without question. Some of the others over the course of time were made at the market level, but I was never involved in those decisions. Didn't have that kind of power. I had a microphone. That's what I had. Can't wait for tomorrow. We'll have a blast. I appreciate all of the support on the program. Thanks for listening to I Love Mondays with Mike Heller, the podcast. We'll do it again, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I Love Mondays with Mike Heller.